What is up? We are live. Not sure if you can hear that outside. We got a nice thunderstorm going. But since we got that going, let's go over these thunderously good paint schemes. That was a terrible transition, but I did try. Effort was there. The number one of Ross Chastain in the Bush Light Nashville scheme with the chrome red number, the blue, the red on the hood. This is a good looking car, sort of like a red bandana looking stuff with some other schemes and stuff on the hood. Already a favorite here. This might be the paint scheme of the weekend. Ross Chastain, this is his best track. We're going to get into the numbers in just a minute, so no need to get into them now. But yeah, Ross Chastain with a good looking Bush Light paint scheme. Bush Light always bringing it. Discount tire on the side of one Austin Cindric in the Ford Dark Horse Mustang in the number two car. We've seen that one before. Number three, Brez Tree for Austin Dillon. I like the Brez Tree scheme every time they run it. I'm not sure exactly if that's a Dow company or if that's just a company on their own, but I always like that scheme when they run it overstock on the number four Ford Mustang Dark Horse of Josh Berry, who is on the outside pole, I think. Let's see here. Hendrick cars for Kyle Larson. For Kyle Larson, we've seen that one on Kyle Busch to Hendrick. It's been leaked. Just kidding. Let's see. Kyle Larson, number five, HendrickCars.com. We've seen that one before. Consumer Cellular. We've seen it before, but he doesn't run it all the time. So Brad Keselowski there in the six car and his spotter, TJ Majors, will be wearing a cool suit in the stands while he is spotting ultimate softness of all time right there. I will go ahead and say it now. Seven, Garner Trucking Incorporated on the Corey LaJoie Chevrolet Camaro here. The Zone on the side of Kyle Busch here. Thornton's also on the side as well. Going all white here. Probably a smart move with the heat and all that today for Chase Elliott. Blue Def Napa Chevrolet number 9. Mostly white. I like that scheme. Winchester going with the patriotic colors. Good looking car for Noah Gregson, the Ford Mustang Dark Horse driver. Looking really good there with Made in America. Winchester and Bass Pro on the hood. Red, white, and blue for this weekend. FedEx scheme on the number 11. We've seen that on the Toyota Camry before, but always a good scheme. Menards, always a good scheme. Going with a little bit of a lighter blue. Normally a nice dark navy on there. This is more of a sort of a cross between a Duke blue and a Orlando Magic blue. A little bit darker than both of those, but a little bit lighter blue than normal on the number 12 Menards car for Ryan Blaney there. Rush Trucking Center is going with their gray upon 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 gray Cummings. Rush Truck Center is number 14 for Chase Briscoe in his last season with Ford before he switches over to Toyota next season. Number 15, Monster Energy for Riley Herbst. Good looking car there. I like that car. A little bit of green trim at the bottom is going to differentiate it from the other monster cars that we normally are used to seeing. 16 has got the Celsius on the side of it for AJ Allmendinger, who was in that car this weekend. 17, we build submarines. Always a good scheme, but we've seen that before. Bass Pro Shops, number 19 of Martin Trex Jr. We've seen it before, but it's always good. A little bit of a different scheme here with DeWalt, number 20 for Christopher Bell on his Toyota Camry. It's sort of a throwbacky looking scheme to the DeWalt Tough series they ran back in the day. But good looking scheme for C Bell there. Dex 21 Imaging for Harrison Burton. Good looking car, red and white. A little bit different than their normal red and white. No gold number on it this weekend. The 22 Shell Pennzoil. We've seen that one before. Good looking car for Joey Logano as always. And the Luke Combs Columbia, number 23 of Bubba Wallace, who made tons of news that I'm not going to talk about today unless we absolutely have to, because it's Bubba Wallace and people get carried away on both sides. Let's see. William Byron in the Valvoline car. I don't like the gray Valvoline car. I've looked at it enough now. I don't like it. They need to go back to the other Valvoline schemes. Valvoline normally does a good job. I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm not in love with that one. Let's see. Crycool on the 31 for Daniel Hemrick. Good looking car. 34 Loves. 38 Generator, we've seen that one before. 41 Hostiles, we've seen that one before. 45 Monster Energy of Tyler Reddick. So he'll be the other Monster Energy car in the field. It will be, of course, be differentiated by Riley Herbst having the green stripe there at the bottom, whereas there is no stripe on the bottom of the 45 Monster for Tyler Reddick. 47 Artisanal Hawaiian Bakery Bread from Oscar Mayer on the side of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s number 47 Chevrolet Camaro. Good looking car there. Got like a Jimmy Buffett feel to it. I kind of like it there. Allied going with the got like a little guitar scheme here going around the number. I like this one. Good looking car. Allied always does a pretty good job with their paint schemes. Number 48 for Alex Bowman. Number 50, Corey Heim. I really like his car. I'd probably put it right up there with Ross Chastain. Probably top 5 paint schemes this weekend. Gold, white, and black. Solid color scheme. One of my favorite color schemes. Corey Heim in the number 50 Toyota. What is it? 50th anniversary of Mobile One Toyota Camry, XLERST QRP. Pinnacle on the side of the number 51 for Justin Haley. Home Improvement Ford. So Pinnacle Home Improvement, the yellow, the blue, the white, sort of like a I don't know what's famous. Navy. The Navy runs those colors in football. Interstate Batteries with a good looking scheme on the side of the 54. So always a good job with the Interstate Batteries car. Mostly green, a little bit of black at the back to accent the Monster Energy a contingency graphic or whatever you want to call, or a contingency sponsor on the back there. But other than that, mostly green. Land Loan Tennessee on the side of Chad Fincham's number 66 Carl Edwards machine, or I'm sorry, Carl Long machine. I always say Carl Edwards when I mean Carl Long, and vice versa. It's the curse of being on YouTube. Jockey Outdoors on the side of the 71 here, part of that Spire Group sponsorship deal that they've got going on between Spire and Trackhouse there. Luke Bryan on the side of that, so that's why you got the guitar, and of course it's in Nashville. So it fits the scheme. 77 Ziegler for Carson Josephus Hocevar. We've seen that one before. 99 Tootsies. We've seen it before, but it's a lot bigger on the hood for this one. So good looking. Tootsies always does a good job. Tootsie's car looking good for Amigo 99. There are your paint schemes. Here is your starting order. Denny Hamlin will be on the pole with a car that is really fast. Looked really good in practice and qualifying. Josh Berry on the outside pole. It is a home track for him, so don't count him out. Christopher Bell rolls off third. Kyle Larson fourth. Brad Keselowski is fifth. Tyler Reddick is going to be sixth there. William Byron seventh. Ty Gibbs eighth. Chris Buescher ninth. And Austin Cindric is going to be your top 10 there. The rest of your field is going to be Austin Dillon, fastest of the cars that didn't make the final 10 for the qualifying deal. So hopefully RCR has got a little positive momentum there with Austin Dillon rolling off 11th there. Maybe figured something out. Alex Bowman 12th. Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar, Noah Gregson, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain round out your top 20. Good track for Ross Chastain. Didn't get it done in qualifying though, but we'll keep an eye on him as he starts midfield. Corey LaJoie, Ryan Preece, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Flip Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Bubba Wallace because I'm dyslexic and just did it myself. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 23rd, Bubba Wallace 24th, 25th Harrison Burton. Those are your top 25, and then the rest of your starting lineup goes like this: Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, AJ Allmendinger, Corey Heim, Riley Herbst, Daniel Suarez, Todd Gilliland, Justin Haley, Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek, Zane Smith, Daniel Hemrick, and Chad Fincham bringing up the rear. Of note, Justin Haley is going to start at the back of the field because he didn't get through. He made unapproved adjustments after they went through final tech, and he is going to have to do a pass through at the beginning of the race. So not only will he start at the back, his time was disallowed, but he will also have to do the pass through penalty. So it's going to be uphill all weekend for Justin Haley. In the last 3 races here, the only 3 races here, the previous winners are Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and Ross Chastain. So keep an eye on all 3 of those. Kyle Larson, of those, I think qualified the highest. Chase Elliott, I think right behind him as far as those 3 that qualified really high. But let's go to average finish. And average finish, the best average finish here of these 3 races is a 2.7 for Ross Chastain, 3.3 for Kyle Larson, 8.0 for Christopher Bell. Don't sleep on Christopher Bell. I wanted to put him in the poll, but they only gave me 4 options. Denny Hamlin, an average finish of 10.0. So I would look at those drivers, honestly, as where my winner is going to come from. But also, if you want to do like sort of the sleeper picks and stuff like that, don't sleep on Daniel Suarez. He has an average finish here of 11.3. Joe Logano, 12.7. Eric Jones, 12.7 as well. And Austin Dillon, where he qualified 11th, he has an average finish of 13th. So this might be a track where Austin Dillon can maybe get the ship going in the right direction here. Kevin Harvick was always fast here, 13th average finish. Josh Berry, obviously, in that car. Kyle Busch, average finish of 13.7. Tyler Gibbs, Rockin' Randall at a 14.0, 14.5 for AJ Allmendinger's, 14.7 for Chase Elliott, and Slick Rick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 14.7. So a good track for him. I already did the previous winners. Percentage of laps led, 29% of the laps led in the last three races have been led by Kyle Larson, 21% have been led by Denny Hamlin, and 11% have been led by Ross Chastain, 8% by Kyle Busch. So without even having to do any type of serious math here, obviously it's going to be Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain as your favorites. Flip a coin and pick between them. Whenever there's an option to pick Kyle Larson, you know I'm going to pick Kyle Larson. But Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin, don't sleep on them either. Those have to be by far your three favorites for this race. All right, and I think we've covered it. So let's jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. Let's see here. And Chevrolet has won the three races so far. So will they keep that streak going? And that's what Tim Race was talking about. Does Chevy keep their Cup Series winning streak alive at Nashville today, or will Ford or Toyota spoil the effort? I don't know. That the Toyota's looking good for Denny Hamlin, but I'm picking Kyle Larson to win the race. So I'm going to go with Kyle Larson, and Chevrolet keeps the streak going. So that's going to be my thoughts on that. Jamie Schweitzer says my dark horse pick is going to be Kyle Flippin' Busch. Not a bad dark horse pick, Jamie. I like that pick right there for sure. Then I'm going to skip those because I already answered those before we got started here. AJ was great yesterday. Too bad he had bad luck in the pits, says Bumblebee. He did for sure. Cole Custer had a good car too. Unfortunately, couldn't get the deal sealed. I'm taking America's Fisherman, Mayetta, New Jersey legend, Martin Truex Jr. So yeah, Martin Truex Jr. He might be a good pick there. For whatever reason, my statistics aren't going much past 10th, so I don't see him anywhere in the top 10 here with average finish or anything like that. But always a good pick. Never bet against Martin Truex Jr. I'm all for starting early. Ross definitely gets scheme of the week. Oh yeah, for sure. Like that's by far my favorite. Close second though. I think I'm gonna have to say is Corey Heim. He's got to be in that mix as well. The Tootsie's 99. Those are probably my top three off the top of my head. I need to go back and look at them though to do an actual list. What up, everyone? What's up, Chrome Diesel? Good to see you on here. Krusty saying, "Yo, BB, hot night at Sobo last night. 22 car was tough to beat." Yep, he started shotgun on the field and he didn't slow him down at all. He got it done, so good for old Connor there. 77, good too. Typical bad luck for Looney, says Krusty. Yeah, 77. He's talking about Trevor Ward. Trevor Ward, really good car. I think he finished second. Unfortunately, couldn't seal the deal. Old Trevor, friend of the show, was hoping he could win, but couldn't quite pull it off. Second place, not bad though. He's still in the running for the Virginia Triple Crown, which that was the first race of the Triple Crown last night at Sobo. Last night at Sobo, we had a real case of a dude probably should have kept his mouth shut, says Bumblebee. So she's referring. I don't want to blow him out here, but a guy, I was surprised he said what he said. I've met him before. He's normally super laid back. So the contact with Looney sent him over the top, and he unleashed on the air, and that's unfortunate. But I can speak from the times I've met him. I can go ahead and say that that's out of character for him. He's normally pretty chill. So I was very surprised to see him say all that. Let's see. 1 in 10, the best looking cars, 99. Looking lilac is just a wrong on a car, says Shaw. Yeah, but if I don't know, Tootsie's Bar, that's kind of their paint scheme, color scheme for the business, for the building. It is what it is. What about what's that about Bumblebee? Says Krusty, say something in Victory Lane. Again, left 25 to go, says Krusty. I can't say what he said or we'll get demonetized. That's fact. That's fact. He said a lot of words you typically can't say to be family friendly. John Hunter Nemechek was Luke Combs' music video for the Twisters movie. So it's part of the Twisters movie, which is, I guess, is that a sequel or are they rebooting the movie Twister? I don't know. Krusty, if you want to find it, it's on the internet. You can look it up. Let's see. Howdy from the Great White North. Go Ross, go! I'll cheer for Briscoe since he's coming to Canada soon to race some dirt. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that, but apparently Chase Briscoe is going to get on some dirt before he goes. So there's the name. Bumblebee dropped the name for you, Krusty, if you want to look it up. But yeah, Briscoe going to get out there and races probably as much dirt as he can probably race before he goes to Joe Gibbs Racing, because the Joe Gibbs racing stuff is frowned upon. Dirt racing is frowned upon at JGR, allegedly. As a fellow Nashville native and the same age as Josh, I'm going to be pulling for him to pop his berry cherry with a W today, says Ryan Fussner. Yeah, it's a home track for him, and I would not bet against him at all. Do have a poll question up. I forgot to mention that, and we had a super close poll result before I started running my trap here. Hamlin right now at 21%, Larson 34%, Barry 30%, Ross Chastain 15%, 47 votes in with about an hour into the poll. So go ahead and get your vote in. Who do you think is going to be the winner? Forgot to mention that we've got a poll. Krusty says wasn't cool at Sobo. Yeah, they called me off from the race. They didn't need my help, so I wasn't super disappointed that I didn't have to be there. I was talking to him this morning. I did go up there and help him this morning and get some things packed up and things like that. I helped to move some things around. But yeah, I wasn't super sad that I missed that race. It was a scorcher for sure. Especially because some of those guys didn't properly hydrate the night before. If you know what I'm saying. Friday night was a good time to dehydrate yourself. Kyle Petty performing after the Cup race. Hey, there you go, Kyle Petty. Going to be performing some of his music, I guess, after the Cup race. It ain't cool in Middle Georgia either. Already at 94. It was 87 degrees this morning at 10 o'clock or 10. Yeah, I'd say 10 o'clock when we left to go up to South Boston. Was the 87 car in that wreck too, says Krusty. Yeah, Mike Looney was involved in that wreck for sure. Who should be the top candidate? I haven't seen the wreck, so I don't know who was at fault or anything like that. I just know that that's the wreck that they were talking about. Who should be the top candidate for the rumored third 2311 entry for 2025? Herbst, John Hunter Nemechek, or Heim? If you're going to go off of talent and accomplishments, I would go with Corey Heim there. If you're going to go off of sponsorship and talent, I would go Herbst. And if you're going to go a guy that's either going to crash or get a good top 10 finish, I'd go John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek is going to be an expensive car to have over there because he's got a high attrition rate. He gets into a lot of incidents. He leads the series in incidents on track. So he tears up a lot of equipment. So nothing against his talent. He's got plenty of that, but he's Stenhouse-like, and he goes through a lot of equipment is what I'm trying to say. Watching the Hotlanta Braves, says Krusty. Nashville Super Speedway, another home track for America's Fisherman Martin Truex Jr. For sure. Him and Josh Berry, another home track for those guys. Also a home track for Trackhouse, so look for them to do good. The Braves are losing right now, says Krusty. Update, John Force is positive. He has a head injury, but now knows who he is, knows his family, and is regaining his abilities. They had to sedate him because he kept trying to get up and leave. So there you go. John Force said he's ready to leave. He's had enough of that hospital. He's ready to get back to whatever his life's going to be post this. Whether he goes racing, whether he doesn't go racing, we'll wait for him to make that call. But good to see that he's doing well. I want to talk about the best NASCAR site, says Big Wheel. Well, I appreciate you, my man. Big Wheel. Aloha, my friend. Hope you're doing good over there in Hawaii. Let's see. Keep John in your prayers. He's a tough, took each other out of the running or whatever. But either way, apparently that happened. So there you go. George Jones won the F1 race. His favorite driver. I know his name's not George Jones. I can't think of his name off the top of my head for some reason. Whatever. Anyway, digging the whole paint scheme lineup, says say Kyle. Yeah, they brought some heat here for Nashville. Good looking. Noah Gregson's is another one that doesn't get talked about a lot, but that Bass Pro Winchester is a good looking car as well. Willow Spicewood going with Ryan Blaney. Bumblebee saying, what's up, say Kyle? George Russell, thank you. I couldn't think of his last name to save my soul. The fact that George Russell won for Mercedes again, or Lewis did, is impressive. Indeed. Let's see. BB, who finishes last today? Oh, that's a good question. I don't have my normal. I can't go off my normal statistics as to who finishes last. I'm going to have to give the 66 to Chad Fincham the nod there, unless somebody wrecks fairly early on. I'm going 66, 42, or 71. Those are going to be my picks to finish last or first on Earth 2, if you're keeping up with the Earth 2 stats. Denny Hamlin says Bumblebee. Kyle, who goes to the 43? Says Nathan. I don't really see where you would get rid of Eric Jones, to be totally honest, unless somebody with a lot of talent brings in a lot of money. I know some people are thinking that Corey Heim takes over the 43. To me, Corey Heim would take over the 42, and he would only take over the 42 if John Hunter Nemechek left to go aforementioned, maybe 23-11 or something like that. That's the only real situation where I could see something like that happening. But other than that, I don't think we'll see anything like that. In between Lindsay and George Russell. So yeah, I couldn't. I don't know, for whatever reason, couldn't think of his last name for some reason. But it is interesting. It's also interesting as to where Josh Berry will go, because Josh Berry and Rodney Childers have already said that they're attached at the hip. So there's been rumors. Rodney, what's up? You talking about what I'm fixing to talk about, my friend? That Josh Berry will go to the Wood Brothers, but the Wood Brothers already have a team in place over there. So I don't know if that would be the best fit for them. Would they allow Rodney Childers to come with Josh Berry over there to a Penske run team? Roger Penske doesn't like to cheat. I know they've been caught in some stuff, but he's more or less self-policed himself. Roger's not a guy that likes to get caught cheating, at least, at the very least. I don't think he's a guy that likes cheating. So would he want Rodney Childers, Rodney Cheating Childers, as some call him? He's sort of got the Chad Knaus reputation in modern day. Would he be on board with having that guy? Would it be okay because it's a Wood Brothers car? I don't know. There's a lot of questions around that one. To me, the best two landing spots, I would think, for Josh Berry would be front row. Front row, for whatever reason, sticks out in my head. I feel like front row's got to be the leading candidate, because then you can just plug Rodney Childers over there and go right into it. The other one that sticks out in my head would be Colleague. Like, go over to Colleague and do your thing at Colleague. You can raise them up. Like, there's probably literally going to be no difference in equipment and funding between what Stewart Haas is now and what they're capable of doing now and what they'll be able to do at Colleague. So I feel like those would probably be the best two fits to keep that team all the way together, that four team, keep it all together, because you could just take whatever you've got going on and just plug it in and keep doing what you're doing. So to me, I feel like that's going to be the best landing place for the most likely landing place for Josh Berry. But that's just me thinking out loud. I don't have any information on that or anything like that. Nathan saying the three car. So that's the other option if you believe. Well, there's two stories out there. J Cal putting out there that he's betting his house on the fact that Austin Dillon's going to retire and Noah Gregson's going in that car. So if you believe the rumors that, or you believe the rumor that RCR is going to find a way to get one of those charters, let's just say there's an open seat at RCR, not necessarily the three car. Would that be a spot for Josh Berry? Would that be a spot for Noah Gregson? That's a tough one to call, because you've got other people saying, like Bob Pockris saying that that's not going to happen. He's saying Noah Gregson is a leading candidate in one of those other front row motorsports seats. So there's just a lot of stuff going on right now. Just so many people looking for rides, looking to come up to the Cup Series. Riley Herb saying he's got several options on the table, and Monster's going to be a big part of it. So where does he go? Does he possibly go to the 21? Does he possibly go to one of those front row motorsports seats? Just so much going on right now, and none of it verified. Just a lot of trust me, bro, going on. To be totally honest, I'm a big believer in Zilich. If Brandon Jones is indeed heading to the trucks, Junior should slide Sammy Smith to the 9 and place Connor in the 8 in Xfinity. That might be a situation that could happen. Although he is signed with Trackhouse, so if he goes that direction, they would have to uh, either buy out Trackhouse or have an arrangement with Trackhouse where he was just driving Junior Motorsports cars under the Trackhouse banner or something like that. Justin Haley to the rear for unapproved adjustments with a pass-through penalty to start the race for sure. Willis Spicewood, he is going to have to serve that penalty because they made adjustments after they went through tech. Josh Berry going to the Wood Brothers, says Jamie Schweitzer. That's one of the rumors out there. I haven't heard anything official just yet. Heck yeah, get the Woods 100th win before something happens to Mr. Leonard, says Rodney Collier. I'm predicting the 2025 RCR lineup will be Gregson, Bush, and Hill. That would be a stout lineup. You got one superstar veteran, and then you got two rising superstars. And Austin Hill, very important for the sport, because he will take over the Denny Hamlin role when Denny Hamlin retires as the most hated guy, or one of the most hated guys in the garage that is talented. Like, he's got a lot of talent, but a lot of people also don't like him, so he'll take over that role partially. I would think. Rowdy fan for life. What's up, Gina? Hope you're doing good today, my friend. Good track for Kyle Busch here, so hopefully he can get something done with it. 44 team Legacy Motor Club, says Nathan. So there you go. Maybe Legacy Motor Club grabs another charter. That has been another thing that's been on the table. So we'll see what happens with that. I want to see Christian Eckes get an Xfinity ride. He's good, and no one ever talks about him. It is weird. He does so good. He's got the Napa truck over there, and all he does is win. And then nobody ever talks about, hey, we're going to put him in our car or whatever. Nobody ever talks about the dude. He just goes about his business and wins. Josh Berry may surprise us and get his mentor to join him with Legacy Motorsports, says Jamie Schweitzer. That's definitely an option. Like I said, there's so many different ways it could go. Just so much stuff that could happen. That's why I said until I see something official, I'm just sitting back watching it happen. What do you mean Roger doesn't cheat? He got caught cheating at IndyCar this year. I didn't say he didn't cheat. I said he doesn't like cheating, and he definitely doesn't like getting caught cheating. And he self-policed himself in the IndyCar deal. But he also, if you remember when Joey Logano got caught with a glove, he self-policed that harder than NASCAR itself did. That's what I'm saying. Roger Penske himself does not like cheating. He thinks that they have enough resources over there that they should be able to win without doing all that extra stuff. And that's just the way that he's always been. Like, some people might not agree with what I'm saying, and that's fine. But honestly, I've followed Penske for a long time. He's kind of always been like that. Put him in there. I'm not saying they've never cheated. I'm just saying he doesn't like to do it. Put him in that 30 car for Rhett Jones full time. X would be a great sign, says Bumblebee. The other thing is, if Riley Herbst moves up, I think you could see Haley Deegan possibly move over there to one of the Haas rides, since Gene Haas is going to keep the Haas factory team in those two Xfinity Series deals. So that's one of the interesting things about Riley Herbst and where he goes. Frankie Muniz was in the truck race Friday night, says in between the lanes. I didn't even pay attention to that. Ask Bill, he'll spill the beans, says Jamie Schweitzer. LOL. Rain in Nashville area now. Hope we don't have a repeat of last week. I hope so too. We got some pretty serious rain and thunderstorms going on over here as well. We night racing, LOL, says Bumblebee. Yeah, they do have lights, and a night race might actually be welcome by a lot of these guys because it is so hot out there. Barry to Legacy Motor Club would be a downgrade from SHR, says Wilford. I think a lot of people see it that way. Legacy's trying to build themselves up like all the way without a technical alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing, so they're playing a longer game than normal, and we'll have to see how that plays out. I think in the long run it could play out for them, but in the short run it's going to cost them a lot of speed until they figure out what they're doing. 67 says Nathan for Riley. Dean Thompson, bad luck in trucks, always seems to crash. Yeah, he's another one. He's got sort of that Justin Allgaier, Kyle Busch luck this season for sure. Although I'm not sure that Justin Allgaier's had bad luck this year, but typically throughout the history of his career, he's been a bad luck driver. It looks like we've reached the end of the chat here, so I'm going to read off the poll results. 29% saying Kyle Larson, 23% saying Denny Hamlin, 28% Barry. So Kyle Larson and Josh Berry almost a tie there. Ross Chastain at 20%, 65 votes in. Sunny and beautiful here on Lake Norman. Boyer 17th Friday night. Yeah, he had all kinds of problems. One other thing, that was a really chintzy call on Lane Riggs for wrecking Stephen Parsons, and he got no love from the booth because Stephen Parsons' dad was calling the race. But that was a really chintzy. Like Stephen Parsons, they showed it one time, but they never showed it again. Stephen Parsons ran him all the way up to the fence, and Lane Riggs did hit his bumper, but it didn't like he did it on purpose. But it wasn't like he ran through the guy. So parking him for 2 laps, which is fair on NASCAR's part, but NASCAR never enforces that hardly ever. But they did enforce it on Lane Riggs, and I want to say it's because I feel like part of it's because the TV booth made a big deal about it. But whatever, you got to do what you got to do. If it was, I guess if it was my son, I'd do the same thing too. In Phil Parsons' position. Go Ross Go, says Robin Marks. Only Haley Deegan could fail up, says Joseph Wooten. Thanks, BB, says Brickyard Brickhead. RCR, get your crap together, says Gina. I think they're going to find some speed here. I think I'm thinking the second half of the season they'll get it going here. Anything after JJ Cup Tour has turned to crap, says Wilford. Yeah, Legacy has not been off to a good start. All right, good luck to your driver in the race, and we will catch you post race. So hopefully everything goes well. Peace.